Hey guys, welcome back to Jersey Shore Beers and Brews Reviews. So we got our next beer that we're coming out of halftime, and we've already had two good beers, and this is the third in our 4-beer syndrome. And this is another Stone IPA called Delicious IPA. It comes in at 7.7%. It says the Stone Gargoyle, our loyal guardian, and your symbol of quality. These guys make some good IPAs. That's kind of what they're known for. So we're going to crack it open and see what they do.
And I'm going to say, considering the last bottle of Stone we opened, this packaging, very pretty, bright colors, not as wordy and confusing as the last one we reviewed from them.
To the point.
Hey, thanks.
There you go.
Thank you, pal.
This one's not as scary, so I'm going to go ahead and pour this
Go
one.
for it. Let's
So this one looks totally filtered. Got no
yeah.
yeasties floating in it. It's not a hazy.
This is definitely a clean beer.
There's a place for that. You got the high pour going there.
Yep, I like to get those
Yeah,
carbonation bubbles out of there.
Yeah, I see why you're doing it.
Then they're not going in my stomach.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, definitely nice and clear and sparkling.
I like to see what it builds to after the fact. Like you get those bigger bubbles coming up through the center. It's not doing that.
So, from the last two, I noticed I'm not getting so much off of the glass. I'm still getting my senses back. So, off of the bottle, I can tell you.
Oh, because it narrows it up to the top of the bottle,
Exactly.
and a lot of it goes. Yeah, so I can appreciate that.
Well, if you want it out of the glass, you need to be pouring like that, like
Right. I
But-
like I'm trying to build in a glass
yeah.
that doesn't have a bell shape.
Correct.
So, no, but going off of this, I would say this is a very piney, citrusy beer. This feels more.
This definitely builds a head that's creamy and floaty.
It does.
You can see that there. This is one that'll be good for lacing on the glass. Be leaving back some protein in it. Looks beautiful, nice and clear. Comes in at a straw color, a little bit going into a golden. It's probably more golden than straw actually. I like it. I like the look of it. What's it smell like? Yep, grassy. A little bit of pine in there, grapefruity. Kind of standard hopping. I don't think there's any citra in this. Citra's like the big hop for
Oh, I remember Citra.
for doing this kind of stuff, and I think they went the pine notes on these. What do you got there, Randy?
Well, be honest, it just smells relatively natural and easy for me. I don't have the vast experience with differentiating between different hop styles as you, mainly because my brewing was years and years ago.
Oh, come on.
It doesn't suck.
It doesn't suck. All right.
Now,
Sorry, I mean, no, it's
with this weighing in at 7.7, the texture, the color, the fact that it is clear, I'm going to blind say that this is going to come across as a lawnmower IPA, something that you can sip and while you're doing
get your
yard
daily
work,
chores done.
You know?
I'm going to say that it's going to come in as one of those that hits you towards the back of the throat, only because it's not hitting me towards the front of the nose.
Fair enough.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
So let's toss it back. Cheers, guys.
Now that has a much more IPA.
Yeah, that's definitely an IPA.
Gets a little deeper in the throat, but it doesn't get in the throat.
It's actually a little watery.
Yep.
I'm losing the
Well,
hops
because
already.
you already had the stout too that was really thick. Number one.
True.
Remember the day that you guys first came over and I had those two beers that one was kind of sweeter and one was kind of sour. And
This
you're
is
like,
true.
You were like, no, not on that one. And you were like, no, on this one. And you went back to the other one. And you were like, hey, that's pretty good.
No, you're right.
It kind of messes around with your taste buds.
We definitely should have rinsed first. But whatever. Definitely getting a little bit of
Nice
that lacing on the
protein.
glass you're talking about.
Nice
Yep.
protein head on there. And look at that, like the ridges and mountains and valleys in there. A little bit thicker. So what they're doing is they're mashing it at a higher temperature, or they're adding a little bit of wheat. So when I say mashing, you're cooking the grains, and when you first do it, you have a strike water. First of all, you decide where you want to be for a mash temperature. The lower the mash temperature, the thinner the beer. The higher the mash temperature, the thicker the beer. So your strike water is what you do when you measure the temperature of the grains, you already know where you want to mash at to get your thickness or thinness. And between the two temperatures of the grain and the water that you're going to add, it's going to bring you to that mash temperature. So the higher the mash temperature, the more protein you extract and the more head you get out of it. So they're either doing that, which they might be doing that. I think that they are, because it's not really a thin beer.
No.
If it was a thin beer and it had a head, I'd be like, they're putting wheat in there. That's how they're getting the head.
Right.
Well, you can just inject carbonation, to get head.
Well, no, that's not
cheat.
going to give you the head that stays. It's going to give you the head that happens, but it typically goes away. This is something that's from mashing it at a higher temperature.
Fair enough. I would say that your glass is probably a better example than mine or Randy's, because you're pulling full glasses.
Yeah, so you were pouring slowly to measure it better. So knowing that you don't have to think about that, you're pouring from a higher elevation.
Yeah.
And
you turn it that much more.
You also have lacing on your glass as well.
Oh yeah, we do too, but yours is much more
Because you
pronounced.
pour a more freestyle method.
So here's your drink back. I didn't mean to
Thanks, pal.
No, actually,
You saw that, right?
Yeah. No,
Don't mess with my beer. Give me. So yeah, I mean, it's not a bad beer.
No, it's good. The funny thing is we're doing Stone now. Stone Gargoyle has always been to me
IPAs.
But no, yeah, going back to high school, Stone was the beer that we used to go for. Yes, high school, because we'd always do stupid things. But Stone always had a big bottle. It was always a really strong beer. I'm kind of reminiscent to my high school days with this shit. Because it brings me back to that flavor. Back then, we used to think that it was like, oh yeah, no, they burned their beer because kids don't know shit. But now, 39 years on this earth, I'm gonna say that Stone made a pretty solid.
You're 39.
They called it delicious. I'm gonna say yes, delicious IPA.
That's why I call him my son. So you're like the grandpappy.
Yeah, I know. Like I said,
I went to Battle River. I got to tell all you guys out there. Went to Battle River, and the guy was like, "Hey, it was actually Icarus." He's like, what does your dad think about this? And I went, my dad? He's my dad.
I'm 66.
Okay.
My son's 38. He lives about a half mile in that direction over there.
So we're literally decades apart.
Yeah,
kind of.
It's 3 different generations, really.
Yeah. Not as per.
Because I think the separation is like right by my birthday. You're in the previous generation.
Yeah,
just a little bit.
Definitely, baby boomers would have been,
right.
Yeah.
And that would make you Generation X, and that would make me a millennial based on the timeline, even though I don't fucking act like that.
Which is kind of cool when you think about doing the reviews. So we got 3 generations here reviewing beers.
Absolutely. I can give that aspect.
So J Dubs, what's going on? I mean, you're like an artist, right?
I am.
Going on now?
I actually currently have a giveaway that we only have 5 tickets left.
Tell them guys.
I listed a 7-pound ceramic skull that I painted with blacklight paint and Vanta Black. The world's mattest black soaks up all that extra light. The colors really pop off of it, and we're giving it away on October 29th, actually.
Really?
Yes.
For Halloween?
For the end of the play that I'm performing in.
Ah, okay.
I'm doing a radio show.
And where can we see that show?
On an app called Clapper. You can go to your Google store, your iPhone store, you can type in Clapper app, and it's a orange logo with white thumbs up and down. It's a free speech social media platform.
Is there anything that's similar to?
You can compare the user interface to that of Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok, in the sense that it's short form, vertical content for your phone.
Gotcha. Cool.
But it stands alone from everything else because I actually just had a friend the other day post a video challenging other gun owners. He blindfolded himself and he reassembled his piece in 27 seconds.
Nice.
And he's been trying to challenge people to do that. There's just a really vast community on there. I've met a lot of interesting people all over the world. Just recently started dabbling with people in Australia too.
Cool.
So I'm actually.
So it's worldwide.
Yes, it's worldwide.
So it's a newer app, guys, and it's coming up. And how many followers you got?
I have 48,000 followers, and fun fact, just recently this week was nominated for 2 categories in the 2023 Cheer Choice Awards in Las Vegas this year.
Cool.
So
I also seen that you did the mug challenge. with the
Yes,
beer thing.
I
But you
did.
lost to a girl.
I lost to a girl.
Yep.
I lost to a woman.
Okay.
I lost to a
So
woman.
what was this challenge?
So for Oktoberfest,
Okay, you have to hold.
Clapper had for Oktoberfest. Clapper held Rocktoberfest, and we had a Stein holding competition
Okay,
where he had
and the Stein weighs how much?
with
give or
a full
take,
glass.
right, yeah.
It weighed 1.5 pounds. It was a
Okay.
very small
Yeah,
pint
yeah.
compared to last year's, which weighed about 5.5, 6 pounds. They wanted to make it more approachable for all
Everyone,
creators.
right.
So it stopped being about strength.
As
And for
opposed
me-
to endurance. Yeah.
Endurance, absolutely, and in my case, stability. Because you were only allowed to hold the mug with 3 fingers. This was on the bottom, and your thumb had to be alongside, not bracing the top of your mug while you held it out. So I did not lose because I couldn't hold my arm up. I lost because the muscles started doing this, and being an honest gentleman, I spilled a dime's drop of my beverage onto the floor, and I was like, well, that was part of the rules. I'm out. So I went out, and I'm going to say this much.
Did she win?
She won. No, she did not win. She went to the next round. She held it up for 10 minutes on her last round.
Wow.
But I'm going to say this: the account that did that, her account name is Women Hunt 2. And before we started, I said, "I've got a question for you. Are you a rifle hunter or are you a bow hunter?" And her answer was, "I hunt bears." And I said, "That's not what I asked." And she goes, "I use a bow." And I'm like, "All right, cool. I'm going to lose this round because she's a bow hunter." So from pulling back that tension and holding
A bow hunter,
oh, yeah.
and she hunts bears.
Right, like she hunts bears in Canada.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, no.
Where they're big.
Dawn is a fucking fantastic
Well, pretty
person.
soon you'll be
and
able to hunt them around here. I hear they're moving down this way.
They
to
are.
Ocean
They
County.
are definitely.
Hey, one
Moving
thing I've
down
learned
into-
is shit rolls downhill.
Yep.
Moving into the Pine Barrens.
Oh.
Good stuff. So I'm going to score. It's actually your turn to
Okay,
score
well-
this first.
I think with this means I'm going to put this back down in the lower 7s range, and only because it's good, but it doesn't just like fly off the charts for me. So I'm going to put this around a 7.3-ish or so. I mean, like I said, it's good beer. It doesn't suck.
You know, I gotta definitely agree with you because it's got that taste that just lingers a little too long, and I'm gonna bring it under that 7.5 with you, man. And 7.3 is a good number, and I'm glad to see that you came up with that number because that's right where I was thinking. 7.3.
Okay then.
All right, guys. I disagree. I like my IPAs. I do. I would say as far as beers go, if I'm out, I look to see if they have an IPA on tap, if not on the bottle, before I buy a Miller or a fucking Budweiser. All right.
That's not beer.
But they don't count.
They don't.
No,
count.
but I'm saying, like, if I'm looking for something to go with a meal, I like to go with an IPA because it goes with. Pretty
At
much
least say
everything.
Sam Adams. I mean.
Yeah, the problem is like most of the mainstream bars have only like
Yeah, it's like you have your
sucks.
choice of Bud, Miller, Coors, and
a Sam Adams seasonal.
yeah.
Coke, Pepsi, or RC Cola.
Yeah.
Beer Worlds, yes. So I'm gonna give it exactly what it is for me. That's right. As far as will I buy it again? Probably not. If it's available to me, will I try it? Absolutely. If it's free, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call it 6.9, but I'm gonna interrupt it with a period.
I thought because the
6.9
way you
is
just
like
said he
bad.
was, yeah.
6.9 is bad.
6.9
I
is
thought
like
you-
you're never
see-
gonna buy it again. That's
Well, no, but
below that 7
but
number.
But I'm telling you, like I just said, if it's free, I'm definitely gonna get it. But I've had this one.
right. But
I don't
no,
think
you'd be
I would
under the
revisit it.
7.5.
Well, that's why I was. Yeah, that's
So
why I
you'd
was
be
going
from
where I
a
was
7
going.
to 7.5.
All right, then I'll tell you what. I'm gonna give
Then
it.
you're with us.
I'm gonna give you a 7 then, and that's a very low 7.
Because I thought after that intro you're going to say 7.6.
No.
Because you like IPAs.
Right. That's
I
what I
like
was
it when
thinking
you-
too.
But I like IPAs, but this is not one that I would go
Yeah.
and say I'm gonna buy this one.
Okay. Yeah, you're in the lower sevens.
The hazy that we had before.
You're in
I
the
might actually
lower
buy that one
sevens.
again.
That would be the upper sevens. So the 7.5 is like the middle road, and then the ones that you would buy again, and the ones that you wouldn't buy again, but you would drink, and then the ones that you were just like, this is not a good beer.
I'm
You're
gonna
in the
say,
lower sevens.
Then I'm gonna
All
say
right,
it's,
cool.
I'm gonna say it's 6.99999,
Okay.
and we'll round it up to 7.
Right.
You can give it a 7.1.
He's kind of with us in the same kind of
Okay.
boat. I like to see that though.
I mean, it's
I'm
it's
with
not
you,
my
dude.
favorite. I've had a
Nope.
lot better IPAs.
Nope, and they definitely have better IPAs.
They have made a lot better IPAs, but I'm just saying this one is definitely
I mean, I like it because it is clear. It's a drinkable beer.
Yeah,
It's just that.
This
I'm-
is
it ain't
this is a
doing
90.
it.
This is a 99% beer, not a 1% beer.
Yep, it's
It
just
doesn't,
ain't
it
doing
doesn't
it.
stand out.
Just is not doing it. Although the lacing is good on the glass, that's about it.
It still does have a little bit of a hoppy afterbite, as IPAs do. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
And that's one of the reasons I'm
not the good
kind of
taste
done with
IPA.
IPAs because of that afterbite.
Yeah. Kind of hangs out a little too long.
Okay, so change my mind. All right. Sometimes IPAs, these breweries, they kind of act like the hot pepper companies, like the pepper sauce. You ever go into like a mom and pop and you see like all these thousands of pepper sauces that are all really fucking hot and flavorful, but they're all similar in some way. This one falls into that shuffle on that.
Yeah, the IPAs kind of became the norm of like the craft beer, and I tell these guys all the time that listen, there are so many other styles out there.
Beers don't have to be bitter.
Well, see,
they can be bitter, but they
Right.
don't have to be.
I don't necessarily go looking to have an IPA that night or I have a
Correct.
whatever beer that night. I go out to find a beer that I like. That's why when I see that, that's why I read labels. That's why well, this is interesting, this is new. I'm not looking for.
Without
I'll go
a doubt,
without,
dude.
and that's all of a sudden my mind will go, yeah, I can appreciate. I'll
Without a
try it
doubt.
out. I don't have to say I'm going to go with a stout or IPA or lager. That's not where my mind goes. I want to go to flavor.
Mm-hmm.
I want a flavor. All right, now I want a flavor that's going to not necessarily change my life, but change my life.
I mean,
I don't want to taste the same thing I had.
Absolutely.
well, it's like you were talking about the chili sauces and all that a minute ago. You get into some of these places, and then you'll get in that testosterone thing, and let's see how hot I can taste it. I don't. That's stupid.
Right.
Yep.
I want a flavor, a spice,
Yep.
chili that will improve or make the whatever I'm eating taste better. But I want to be able to taste what I'm eating. I don't want to taste, the 15 kinds of chilies that are in it, that are burning my mouth off.
Correct.
It's got to
Well,
enhance.
no. I want to taste the chilies.
Yeah, but it's got to
maybe not the heat from them.
Yeah.
Because the chilies still give you a flavor.
Uh-huh.
But
Like
yeah,
that
exactly.
You don't want it
Chipotle,
to
like that
distract-
Chipotle ale that we had the mild,
You-
medium, and hot.
you
The
want
hot was
em-
too much.
You want to emphasize certain aspects
Yep.
of beer and not focus on one. This one didn't really highlight the grains they used. It didn't really highlight anything but the hops, and it was not lackluster, but it did, like I said, fell off my tongue rather quickly.
You'd like the
It's a
habanero
long
beer
beer.
Actually,
from Oyster
actually,
Creek.
I still have the hop bitterness in my mouth right now, and I finished drinking that probably 2 minutes ago. I have that like aftertaste that I don't like.
Yes, no, that's the one that like if you had 2 or 3 of these, it would build up on your tongue and say, "All right, I need something to.
Yep.
I need an intermezzo now."
Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
Lower
Fine,
sevens. Lower sevens. That's where we're at.